Welcome to Echoes of New Eden. I'm your host, Rambo. The anniversary hype is still going. We got a fun show. We talked about the arena in the Roundtable, and I spoke to Let's Play the Game from Sky News. Let's dive right in. I'm looking for corp sponsors that want to sponsor the show. This would include running their own very special corp ad on the show. So if you are interested in sponsoring, please contact me. So we are fresh out of Twitch. I just finished watching the freighter live stream from SirTagCR. The freighter was found in a matter of minutes, it seemed, whom the final blow went to a member from XTC Corp. Scary Terry got the kill mail. Who knows if any of the loot survived, because there's actually a couple decently sized battles afterwards. So who knows if any of that juicy loot got picked up. And I know for a fact that there's been some juicy stories out there in New Eden. In fact, some of which will be guests on the upcoming shows. So stay tuned for that. What do we got for game news? So in the announcements, they had posted that they were aware some players were seeing that their Omega historical data wasn't being shown. The historical data of purchased Omegas will be refreshed after obtaining an Omega for any number of days, including basic, standard, and duo. So say if you had 170 days previously, when the event started, it appeared that you had 0. All you would have to do is renew your Omega, and you would get those 170 days and then some that you purchased. They currently have faction war games limited to certain times of the day and all day Sunday to help better with the internal data analysis of the optimal matchmaking scenarios. So based off the data that they receive, they will modify that in the future. They are also aware of the potential confusion with listing local times, so they'll add server time as well to make it more clear. So, and they did give some faction war game times, and that's on their Discord. I'm pretty sure it tells you in game as well. And then due to the migration of their Python 2.0 and Python 3.0 on the back end, there was some unintended consequences in the data structure. So currently the amount given from Planetary has been affected by this. They do expect to have this fixed after this week's maintenance, and they will provide 50,000 skill points as compensation. Now what that did to the Planetary to get 50,000 skill points is, I'm guessing, that ruined Planetary, as in you got less. Not really sure on that either. I haven't really been affected by that. And they did do kind of a small update recently. They applied some changes to the audit system. So the latest update broke the audit system, and people are getting ridiculous audit times. I've seen upwards of like 350 hours on certain items that were just ridiculous. So they did this audit system hotfix, significantly reduced the chance to trigger an audit. The longest an item can be audited is now 15 days. And the average overall time for audits has been reduced. So when this went into effect, if you had one of those 350-hour audits, that most likely got wiped. So for future optimization, they will reduce overall audit times for transactions made between players of the same corporation and alliance. And they're looking to further increase the review speed of audits. So as we all know, we had missed the first of the freighter raids, so that was postponed to a later date. But as far as the August 9th and the August 10th freighter raids, those are still on schedule. And I did watch the one tonight, so that was actually pretty fun. Sir Tag, he didn't really know much about the game, but he gave it a good try. On with the patch notes. So since the update, there has been no patches yet. So we'll see some patch notes here probably in the next couple days. And let's see, player support. They did add a couple things about the faction war games. Why are they open to limited time, and what are the time frames? They do list the time frames there. And it's limited to make players match each other more easily. Well, at least that's what they say. What's the condition for entering faction war games? And the answer to that was tech level 5 and higher. And also, they have to be docked in any station. Do skills affect the faction war games? Yes, they do. Your skills will have an impact on the ship bonuses. Will there be team match or other modes? Will I be able to fit my ship by myself in the future? They did say that they were going to implement new modes and competitions for faction war games in the near future. One question was, we cannot enter war games, and a message reads, can't match any fleets in war games. And the answer to that was, if you're in a fleet and you try to start faction war games, that message will pop up. You just quit your fleet and then retry the war games. So that was it. That's it for Eve Echoes news. From there, we'll get to the roundtable segment and then the interview. All right, welcome to the Eve Echoes Roundtable. This segment of the show, we will discuss an Eve Echoes topic provided to us by fans of the show. Though this topic, today we will be talking about the arena and faction war games. So are you guys ready?
Oh yeah, totally ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of new guys in here today, first timers, and let's see, Kilroy, was this the first time you've been with us or second?
It's the second.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mistigan would be the first time?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Thank you. And Obaku. What's up, Obaku?
Hey there. Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, thank you. And the Hound is with us as well. What's up, Hound?
Not much. Just ready to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Really excited for this topic.
So, yeah, Hound, kick it off. What is the arena and how much fun are you having with it?
So, honestly, this is what I expected it's part of what I expected when I was told that Eve was coming to mobile. I'm like, yeah, we're going to have those big battles. We're going to have those, that just standard Eve stuff, but it's a mobile game. And there's times where I just want to play for 15 minutes. And I'm like, this is, I think, what a lot of people have wanted. Just like that 15 minutes, I'm on my break at lunch, and I want to jump into a game where I can go shoot some people and not piss away, 2 months of work. And I'm like, I'm going to go shoot some people, have some fun, and then be done. And that's what it is. You just jump in, you pick a ship, you shoot some people, and have fun. At least that's how I'm seeing it right now. And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been hearing that it's perfect for the mobile platform because you basically just jump in, play a 15-minute match, and then you're done, and you can go off and do whatever you needed to do. You're just killing time, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'd like to see some extra things, like being able to fleet up and then join, so I can go in with my friends, like, and play. But I'm sure that's coming. I don't know why they wouldn't add that, but it's so far, I'm just having a lot of fun with it. It is really that mobile experience that we've all sort of been wanting.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I work at a warehouse and I only get an hour lunch break out of my 9-hour shift. So, then I also run some of my own company. So I only get a few minutes every day to play sometimes on the busy days. So I definitely do like the fact that you can jump in and just play for a few minutes and not have to worry about losing hard work after months. And then if you notice, they do have fleet chats already. So they're definitely bringing in fleets here real soon.
Yeah, I saw that. And I'm really excited for that when they bring that in. Right now, I mean, it's like, what, a week old, if that. So there's definitely going to be those growing pains with it. But yeah, I'm excited for what they're finally bringing. I think NetEase is starting to turn around a little bit, I hope, with Eve Echoes. And I think this is like that first step.
Yeah, a lot of people are having fun with it. I've been seeing it on the Eve Echoes Discord. They're saying that they're having about as much fun now with that arena as they did when they first started the game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's been so good for people that were a little bit risk averse to PvP. Like, this has been teaching people how to properly fly frigates and destroyers. I know it's not perfect, but it's at least like getting some people enough experience to be comfortable flying in null, you know? So that's been nice.
Yeah.
And so, Mystigan, do you, with your work schedule, do you have to work around these time slots that Arena has been doing?
To be honest, no, not right now. I actually have not been having a problem with that, to be honest. It's actually been, every time it's open and online, I've been able to be hopping on during my hours that I'm not too busy. I didn't even really know they had a certain time they were even playing with them.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know either until today when I jumped on and I was going to join one, and I'm like, oh, it's not going to be open until 45 minutes from now. Great.
Yeah.
That was the first time I actually encountered that problem.
Like right now, there's a dead spot right now. Makes you available to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. So we have 45 minutes, so we have to be done.
Yeah, maybe I'll jump in. Cool. Yeah, so Abaku, I know you had a lot of points to talk about on this. It looks like you have some tips in here.
Yeah, there's some things I want to go over first before the tips, which is a lot of the reason, in addition to the comments that the panel have made about a great option for players to practice some PvP tactics without risk of losing a ship, their gear, and cargo. A lot of people are playing for the reward. So how this works is there is a loyalty exchange store that's part of the store within the game. You're going to get loyalty points for every arena match that you play in. The better that you do, the more points you're going to get. And if your team wins, you'll get even more points than that. Although you can still make quite a number of points if you're on the losing team. There's also these daily training tasks. Every 24 hours, it resets at server 0. UTC 0 midnight. That's about 20,000 loyalty points a day you can get from just 4 random tasks you can do every day. So I encourage everyone to focus on those bonus points. It's a good way to get your bonus numbers up.
And they're not too difficult to do. They really aren't.
Yep. There's a 400,000 point limit every week, and that resets Sunday at server 0.
What is Sunday? Good to know.
Yeah, Sunday. So it just reset. So you'll be able to get 400,000 points a week. The people who are playing for Mordu's Legion and Sisters of Eve debris to build those ships out, you need 481,000 loyalty points. So what that means is 8 days. If you played the 400,000 in that 7 days to max it out, and then you got another 81,000 on the 8th day, that's what you'll need to get a debris. Unfortunately, we don't know yet how often you can get a debris. There's a couple of issues that we need to go over. One of them is when you try to buy a debris now, it says limit 1 only. We don't have clarity from NetEase whether that's once in your lifetime, once a week, or once a season. They've talked about this concept of a seasonality that hasn't yet been rolled out. So we're going to find out here very soon, hopefully, whether there's how this limit applies. The other is we've been told that you can only purchase these debris at captain level. The problem is there's a bug right now. Players are seeing that a level 2 is called captain, level 1 was called lieutenant. But if you go into the store, the naming conventions are entirely different. Level 1's private, level 2 is non-commissioned officer. Captain's actually level 4 in the store. So we don't know yet right now whether us seeing ourselves as captains means that we're eligible for debris, or whether you have to really reach level 4. And if that's the case, those of us who have been grinding out for the last 3 days to get to captain level to get a debris, tomorrow is the earliest we can get debris, Monday. We may have to wait another couple of weeks to get to the level 4 to get those debris, which could be a real bummer. We'll find out in the next 24 hours what the case is.
Yeah, because to get the highest rank, you need to, if you just play every single game, if you win every single game, you have to win 100 in a row, and you lose just as much as you gain. So, I mean, Xenon, one of my directors, he's been grinding it for the past week. And I think he last time I talked to him, he was like 10 games away, but that's 10 wins in a row away from being the rank you need to be able to get them, which is crazy. Like the
It
amount
is
you have to win.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we netties may find that it's just simply too difficult for players to get to the level they need to buy debris. I mean, my corp is an exploration corp called the Flock. We're in playing like mad because we're trying to build Sisters of Ease ships, the Astero and the Stratios.
Yeah.
And this is the only way we can do it. And there are people out there who are just as impassioned about the Mordu's Legion missile ships. And this is the only way you can build those ships for Mordu's Legion and Sisters of Eve. And my sense is the people who sell those debris are going to be selling initially for hundreds of millions of ISK or billions of ISK. And the price is going to be really high.
Yeah, Xenon was telling me that he was going to try and he's going to try and sell it low. And he was saying 500 million. I'm like, it's going to go for someone. It's going to be multiple billions.
Initially, yes. Yeah.
I mean, like, that initial job it's going to be stupid expensive.
Yep. So yeah, let's talk about some tips. And I know all of you guys have some. So one of the things that I'm seeing a couple days in is that a lot of players just don't know how to actually play the game. There are 4 different locations that you can jump around to that have haulers you have to destroy. To the left of the quick warp A, B, C, and D on your UI is a map pin. If you tap that map pin, you see a real-time map of every ship in real time and where it's at. You know where not to warp and you know where to warp. I don't think a lot of players know about that real-time map. It has saved my life numerous times. I know not to jump into a pocket of red ships. You're always blue, the enemy is always red. That map button alone is going to save a lot of people. The other thing is that a lot of players don't know that they can pick ships of a different faction. If you love your Condor Interceptor, as I love my Condor Interceptor, and you get assigned to an Amar team, just put that filter button in the bottom left and switch to Caldari and pick your Condor. I mean, you don't have to actually fly the ship of the team that you're in.
Yeah, that makes it so much easier because then you can also swap around too. If you've got a team coming against you and you're noticing that they're all Amar ships, you just swap. You can swap to what you need to counter what they're flying, and then countering swapping before too, or making sure you're locked into the correct one.
What Abaku was just saying for the map, and then the ability to change the ships. I only learned that 3 days ago, and that saved me so much time and effort because I'm a Mar interceptor, on my alt that I fly on this stuff, and man, that helped so much once I learned that mechanic. But also, the other tip is just knowing how to pop into a group and send out commands, because like sending out a command is saying everybody like go to B, go to C, like that is such a huge deal. And the ones that the matches that I lose are full of people that just don't send out the command saying
100%.
Stage here, go here, that sort of stuff. Like that's important.
Danger is a key one, and no one's using the danger messaging. And danger is fantastic, where if you look at that map and you see 6 red sitting at a place, danger to that location. Do not let anyone warp in, because when you warp in to a massive group of enemies, there's going to be a few seconds where they can lock you up and shoot you before you have a chance to interact with them.
Yeah, they'll be able to get into
for sure
much faster.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say people really need to start focusing on what ships they're flying and what their fleet is flying, because I've been noticing a lot of times there's people flying very fragile ships and no support, and everybody's trying to jump in fleets and not fleets, but in groups, and they're just getting completely wrecked every time.
Yeah, one of the mistakes I'm seeing teams make all the time is people are so focused on getting that hauler kill that they fail to shoot the enemy stealth bombers. All I'm doing now in my Condor Interceptor is jumping in and killing stealth bombers. I'm totally ignoring the haulers. I'm
100%
letting other guys let the bombers handle the haulers. Interceptors need to kill enemy bombers. You're going to get more points and you're going to win more games if you do this.
100%. Another tip is just in communication. So if you're with some friends, the way it does its queuing is a stacking system. So it literally is just when you push the start button, it puts you in a queue. So if you're with friends, maybe 4 or 5 friends, I've seen success with upwards of 6 people. You can, if you are communicating over comms, you just all push start at the same time, and you are more than likely to all get on the same team, which that is insanely detrimental to the game. Like being able, in game in-game communication, those little go here, defend, stage, whatever. That's great. But when I was playing with a team where we're talking, I was actually in the gulag with a bunch of guys from Honk and my own coalition and just random people, but all of us talking together, it changed it. We won most of our games because we were able to communicate so much faster. It's like, okay, I'm going to send this command. You guys don't follow up, but you guys do. All these things. It's just so much faster and so much easier.
Yeah. The other thing I'm seeing is if there's too many blues killing one hauler, look at that map, find another hauler. You can maybe have half your guys peel off and go kill that other hauler. I see a lot of games where the other team can get one extra point by doing a double kill during a single round by splitting their team in half. More teams need to do that. Having 6 ships in a warp point shooting a single hauler is a waste of energy. You need to split that group into 2 and go take out 2 haulers.
100%. And on top of that, and this should be sort of common sense for anyone who's been playing Eve for a while, but don't stack your guns. Don't put them all in one pile. Like
100% agreed.
Keep them cycled.
Cycle them.
Yeah, cycle them through, especially if you're running like missiles, like torpedoes or stealth bomber. Yeah, you want to get those. You want, because your goal is to get the last hit, not to get the most amount of points, or not to get the most amount of damage on it.
Yep.
So you're just going to be sending out more DPS, which has won me the game before. Just that last kill.
I've seen players warp in alone to a hauler and get the last shot with 8 enemy ships in that spot, because
I did that yesterday.
Timing is good.
Yeah.
The other thing is people who are flying stealth bombers need to use stealth bomber mode. Get like 2 kilometers from the hauler and go into stealth bomber mode and then cycle those torpedoes, and you have a really good chance of getting the kill.
Yeah, because you're doing top damage there for sure.
Yep.
This might be a bug, but I haven't seen enough of these games this happen. But I think if you're running missiles, it's not when the missile hits, it's when the missile is fired. If it's the last one, if it's going to do the damage, it will be the one. I've had it happen a couple times where I have gotten the last kill where I'm running missiles, and before the missiles have collided, the game has been like victory. And I'm like, did it allow the missiles to actually hit the hauler?
Yeah,
so I think it might even be that.
Yeah, the visual kill cues are a little off.
They're kind of off. So that's one thing to remember also. So when you're attacking other people, that doesn't matter. But when it's the hauler, you just want to be on it. Especially if it's that last one, it's 5 and 5. Just take your time. Make sure you get the DPS. Make sure your guns are cycled. Get as much as you can on that.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk about destroyers because I am finding them not really fitting in well to this mode. First of all, they take forever to warp. They take as long to warp as a battleship. I'm totally confused by that.
I've noticed that also. Yeah.
Dude, me too.
I'm not seeing the role. Like, to me, you're either in an interceptor killing bombers or you're in a bomber killing haulers. Like, everything else seems to me not important, but I may be wrong.
I've also noticed that they don't counter interceptors well. Mm-hmm. Like I've been able to take on bombers myself, and I don't know if that's because I'm going against bad pilots or if it's because they just can't hit me. But the destroyers don't seem to be doing their job, which, to be fair, they haven't been doing their job this entire time.
Are you guys like me? Like, I basically run interceptors exclusively, and then unless I think I can swap into a stealth bomber and sneak in a freighter kill, like, I usually am running 90% of the time interceptors and then switching to stealth bombers if I think it's going to help the whole, game plan.
I'm the same way. I do all the daily training missions in an interceptor, and unless I have one of the random daily training missions is kill haulers, and then I'll finish off my set with bombers.
Yeah. Same.
I wanted to say, I'm extremely highly skilled in fragites and destroyers, and like you guys were saying just a minute ago, how it seems like destroyers are not doing their job. I figured because I was higher skilled, I would be doing way more damage than everybody else, but that's actually not the case right now with the games. I don't know if it is a bug or not, but the destroyers are definitely not holding their own.
Yeah, destroyers have been an issue in Eve Echoes pretty much since T4.
Yeah. Hey, Rambo, I have a suggestion. So what do you think is going to happen with the arena long term? Like, I think we're going to see a bunch of changes, and I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are on that.
Yeah, as for the future of the arena, now I've been trying to calm my members because there are some issues with it, right? But it's very early, and we knew this when they released it. And I believe it was even in a post, an announcement that they said, hey, we're doing time slots, and this is for like their research. You know, they're going to monitor server load and just see how popular it is, whatever research that they need to do on the server side to make sure that these games are running as good as they can be. Now people were complaining that we can't bring in fleets. Well, that's as of right now. It doesn't mean we won't get an update in a month or two to incorporate fleets. So you can have your buddies all jump in, you know, 3 or 4 of you jump in and be on the same team and not have to worry about being split, rather than what you guys are potentially doing now is, you know, all hitting the button at the same time trying to get to the same team, which that may work, but it also may not work. So there's no guarantee in that. So we'll most likely see something like that in the future, and then also other game modes. So right now I know I'm weird. I actually haven't tried Arena yet, and I'm a content creator, but the
my guy, get in it.
I've just been doing other stuff. I know. I've been doing a lot of the support structure stuff right now. So
all good.
Anyway, the game type that you play, so it sounds like that you're just hunting down these freighters or whatever game mode that you guys are doing. We're most likely going to see other types of game modes also. So
agreed.
You may get bored with this one that you guys are playing now, but maybe, you know, there's going to be a search and destroy game mode or something, or a King of the Hill type situation where, yeah, they'll bring in some more stuff. I'm totally optimistic that they will continue making this even better.
I want to see them do like a League of Legends style. We get the lanes and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
so weird. So weird but fun.
Obaku, I'm curious what you think, because like I was talking to my members, and you know, they were asking me what I think, because I played a lot of EO, and I was like, you know, I think it'll be really cool once we get battle cruisers and, you know, maybe down the line battleships in this stuff and different game modes, but that would be really great, in my opinion, long term for, you know, the lifeline of this game. Like people, you know,
I agree.
having a good time.
I don't think any of us can overstate the fact that this is a game changer, in the sense that getting players to build PvP skills without risk of loss could fundamentally alter how this game plays out. I mean, there's some exciting opportunities here. I've learned more about interceptor tactics in the last 3 days than I had in the last 3 months. Just trying things out in the arena. It's huge.
Yeah, man. I just want to see some battleships in this eventually. Like, I'm not saying I want it tomorrow. I'm not saying it has to happen, you know, in a month, but in 2 or 3 months, that would be really cool and would really add some value to the community, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see a game mode where you have 2 mini citadels and you have full fleets going after, and you have to both defend and attack the enemy citadel. You know, whoever's citadel falls first loses. There's going to be some interesting game modes. We may see leaderboards. We may see tournaments. You know, certainly the ability to invite your court mates and friends in on your fleet's going to be valuable.
Well, just think about this too, is they have like a time frame on this, and they want you to be able to get as many kills as possible within this specific time frame. But if you're bringing in these big ships like battleships, you'll be lucky to get 1 kill in 15 minutes if the battle is done right. So
yeah,
you know,
they'd have to set it up to be longer matches, but they only, that's why you've got these ones. You've got the frigs right now. You've got the destroyers. They're very quick matches. I think I did one. I think 10 minutes is the minimum right now. You got 10 minutes. You go, and you're done. And as we go on, and as they figure out how the servers are going to react to these kind of battles constantly, and they're probably all running on similar servers or similar nodes of a server. You know, you've got it set, so you need to run. They need to figure out, and then you bring destroyers into that. You bring not destroyers, but like battleships and battle cruisers, You're running a lot more. You're running them longer. You know, you're running 30-minute battles at that time. And will people want to do 30-minute battles?
Well,
you know,
just think too, if they incorporate structure bashing within an arena type,
yeah,
you might as well call a CTA. So,
yeah. Yeah, we're all gonna fleet up and log in for this battle, and you're gonna see teams like you do in. I mean, if they do this right, you'll see teams like you do in League of Legends, and where you got specific fleets that are made that these people play just for this part of the game, kind of thing. I mean, I would see that happening. I could see that becoming a major part of Eve Echoes, and I would love that. Get more people in the game. People that are playing those, they're pumping into the economy because they're going to get the rewards. They're going to get their stuff. They're going to be doing stuff outside of it. It's going to be good.
It would be so good for Echoes just because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but with our Corporation Alliance, we've had a bunch of people come back and a bunch of people that are semi-new and they want to fly battleships. And if they had the opportunity to hop into a non-risk environment to get the hang of it, that would be great.
It is great.
Before this, I didn't fly frigates. I almost never flew frigates, but because of the update, which basically made it so I got 5 to 6 million free SP and 200 days of Omega for $20. If you cheese it enough, I was just able to go, okay, let's go frigs. Let's finally build in some frigs, and I love it. It's so much more fun when you have a contained 20 or 10 on 10 and you're not like, well, it's just me against all of these guys, or it's 3 against 20, or you're in a big blob and you're just going after someone. I mean, it's fun to take down a battleship with 20 frigates, but I mean, this is a contained one. You're gonna have quality content that you might not get out in nullsec.
Yep. The thing I want to see NetEase add to this arena soon is logistics frigates. Those have been basically useless in the game for almost a year. Like, no one's flying Bantam Bursts, Inquisitors, and Navitases anymore. There's an immediate value to have logistics frigates in an arena, but those ships are just sitting there completely unused right now in the game.
Oh yeah, they're a meme ship at this point.
Yep.
That and the Rifter. That'd be really fun to see in the game. Or in war games.
Don't you diss the Rifter. I love the Rifter.
Dude, Rifter for life. Rifter for life.
Obaku, if you had any more tips to
close
it out.
I've got one more thing that hasn't been mentioned yet, which is kind of a bug. If you go into the New Eden store and you click the LP exchange to look at what the rewards are going to be for your LP arena points, everyone thinks that all you can do is push that reset button to see 8 rewards you can buy, but there's this weird workaround that if you tap the ad banner at the top of the LP exchange, which right now says that they're having a faction sale for the next 2 days, if you tap that, you actually get an all items catalog. And from there, you can go ahead and click the level you're at, and then you'll see what can be purchased. If you tap, for instance, the captain level, and then tap, let's say, the Sisters of Eve ship debris, you'll actually have a link to store purchase from that page. And that's where it says limited 1 times. It says it's 481,000 loyalty points. So we don't know yet whether you can just bypass that rotational 8 on the front page, go in through the ad banner and buy anything you want from the catalog, or whether maybe this is a bug. Maybe it's a path that NetEase forgot to block. But this may be the workaround to get your debris if it doesn't show up on the refresh of those 8 items on the home screen.
Well, let's find out. I'm in the screen right now.
That's some 5D stuff. Rambo might have to edit that out if he talks to NetEase.
Oh my God, you can. You can. You actually can do it. Let me buy something real quick. So I went through the all items. I'm at private because I'm still ranked stupid low. Okay. I'm going to buy a test large snub nose store purchase.
Pick something not on your list that's on the front of those 8. Pick something that's not there.
Yeah, let me actually check my list real quick. Okay, yeah, that's one of them. It's not one of them. So give me 1 second to go back.
Yeah, and then you tap the item, and then you scroll down and click store purchase.
Yep, large snub nose. Oh, invalid item type. Okay, it doesn't let you do it.
Bummer.
You can get all the way there, but you can't get it. So it gives you an invalid, and then it doesn't let you push it again. It does not like it when you do that.
Okay, so this is probably just a hole they forgot to fix. So what that tells me is if you want debris, you're going to have to refresh. And what that probably means is for all of us out there that are level 2 captains, we're not really captains. Captain is level 4 if you see in the banner listing. That probably means that those of us who have been, grinding for 3 days to get to captain level have to grind another couple weeks to get to true captain at level 4 before we get our debris, which is not good news.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they fixed it, because I think it's a bug that you lose so much points when you lose.
Okay.
Because I mean, yeah, these are not supposed to be easy to get debris, but there's no way they're going to be that difficult, because you're not going to be able to fund a market with this low input. I think it's got to be like, you're supposed to gain, if you lose at a certain rank, you lose 75% of the points that you would gain from it. Opposed to
gaining a debris shouldn't require that you get a divorce.
Yes.
And now it's pretty much divorce level to get to a debris.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't need that. Well, I
I'm just in it for the fun at this point, because I lose about half the games half of my games.
Is it possible?
And because I'm just going to mess around.
Is it possible to get an Astro right now, or is there just not one yet?
No,
because nobody's
No, you can't get enough points yet.
Yeah,
okay.
For tomorrow. Well, as of the next couple hours,
few days,
will be the earliest. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be able to.
No
get
one
it
may
in...
be level 4. No one may be level 4 right now.
I did hear of one being spotted yesterday, so that's why I asked.
I think it had to be a dev. It had to have been a dev.
I was yanking my chain.
Around.
It was on Aurora server. It wasn't on a test server. Though I didn't spot it myself, even though it was like 4 jumps away from me. I didn't go out and look.
I mean, remember in the early days where you could throw stuff into your cargo and shoot your other character and then get their stuff and move it over? Maybe LP. Maybe if you put one of those 10,000 LP bonuses from the anniversary rewards into a ship and then blow up, maybe you can pick it up. Maybe that's how they're doing it.
So here's another thing too, and I don't think we touched on this, is you can team kill in Arena, and if you team kill, you actually get banned from Arena. Have you guys heard of that?
Yes. Yeah, you get... I don't think you get banned. I think it's a timer ban. Okay. Is what I heard.
Yeah, I did hear of a ban, but it's most likely a timer ban.
Yeah, because it's not difficult to access, like with how quickly.
Yes.
Because pods will come up.
Block of blue by accident.
Yeah, I almost did it the other day, and I was super scared that I was going to get banned. Yeah, because the pods will come up, and if you're just tapping through, you can accidentally tap a blue and accidentally lock it. And if you're auto firing, you will shoot it, and it's so quick.
That's
I think it's a timer ban.
It's interesting they have pods in there. Why not just kill the person while in the ship?
I think what happens is the pod deploys for a second, because you don't destroy the pod. Yeah. The pod just goes away. But because of the way the game works, anytime a ship dies that a player is flying, a pod will deploy. And it takes a second for it to cycle through it going away. I think it's probably a server tick, so 1 second.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and that a second is a lot of time, especially while flying frigates. And you can definitely lock onto someone on accident that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we will conclude it at that. So, yeah, what a great chat, you guys. And, man, it was just what a great topic to talk about. It's so new and it's interesting, and a lot of people are learning about it. And I'm excited to see what comes out in the future with the Arena and Faction War games. So, thank you guys for joining, and fly safe out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Take 2. All right. Welcome to the Eve Echoes Roundtable. This segment of the show, we will discuss an Eve Echoes topic provided to us by fans of the show. Though this one was not chosen at random, we had decided to talk about the Arena. So I got a group of guys here, and we're going to talk about the Faction War games and Arena. Oh, really? And my wife coughed in the background? What the fuck?
Hey, I'm Let's Play the Game, and welcome to Echoes of New Eden.
Hey, Let's Play. Welcome to Echoes of New Eden. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and so what about you?
I'm doing well as well. Yeah. You live in the future, and it is a bit early for me in the morning. So, I'm glad we got to actually sit down and finally do this.
Yes, me too, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome, man. So tell the listeners who you are and what you do.
Well, my nickname is Let's Play the Game, and I'm the only owner of Sky News project. So what is Sky News? Sky News includes YouTube channel, Telegram blog, and in-game news corporation and alliance. We are focused on attracting newbies and finding news. And we also trying to earn ISKs so that we can pay for help with news from other players. And all this makes it possible for some players to find themselves in this game. We provide jobs and opportunities to grow.
Nice. Then how long have you been doing that?
Oh, from first day of this game, 1 year.
Yeah, wow. Congratulations on that. It's you're among one of the first, and especially for being a Russian news outlet as well.
Yeah, we are doing Russian news, and we use English subtitles for English-speaking people.
That's great. I love that. And I've seen a few of your videos, and that definitely helps me understand, the news that you're reporting. So that's awesome.
Oh, really? I'm pleased to hear that that we helping to someone.
Yeah. So is a majority of your audience, is it majority Russian, or well, you do have the subtitles, so that does bring in the English speaking audience, but your audience, is it mostly Russian?
Yes, it does, but we have only about 10% of English audience and 90% of Russian speaking.
Okay. Well, gee, we need to get you. We need to get you in to some more English-speaking communities. We can work on that.
Yeah, that is the point why I came.
So, tell us a little bit of the history of Sky News. What, like, behind the name? How did it start? Why did you want to start it?
Yes, sure. So we have cooperation and alliance in the game, and we blew with almost all New Eden. I mean, most of the big corporation and alliances. And some people think this is not fair. They say we do not fight and not pay our blood for it. But I have an answer for you guys. To make this possible, my guys and I spent almost a year. Our battles takes place in chats, Reddit, and video editor. So we also spent sleepless night in Discord and in the game. So this is if and nothing happens here for nothing and without investment. Just remember this when you want to kill a news guy, considering him as a freeloader. But it was not always so. At the very beginning, there were 3 of us in the game and a few people on YouTube site. A week before the game was released, my friend showed me the first issue of Sky News. I wasn't a part of Sky News in those times. And I wondered to see Marie there. Do you remember our first host, Marie?
Yeah.
So this guy was my friend, Kult. You may know him as a founder of No Please Stop Alliance. And Marie was his girlfriend. So yes, Sky News was Kult's idea at first. But at the time, he was an ordinary member of Black Sky and just invited me to play Eve. Who knew it would turn out this way? And now I am Sky News. I really like the idea of apolitical news and turn out the space to blue. This is good or bad, but I'm very kind and honest guy. People have tried to bribe me many times, but I just don't care. I'm interested in doing what we do and in trust of people. So this is short history of Sky News.
Oh, that's good. I actually didn't know that it was founded by Cult, or at least started
Yeah, it was his idea, but me and my friends do all work.
Yeah.
He was on YouTube site, so I can continue. At first, my job was searching for news in game and diplomacy. We found our news corporation immediately after the game release, and pretty fast I joined it to YouTube team. It happened about a month after release. I was already there in 6th issue, for sure. After a while, I began to write all the scripts for our videos. Also, I watched and studied how they shoot the videos. And it helps me a lot because everything you see for the last half of the year was done by only me and my girlfriend at my house. At that time, there was so much news that we decided to start blogging on Telegram. And I also got the idea to make podcasts. Our first podcast was released on November 7, 2020. As I said, for the last half of the year or even more, I have left alone on this project. Of course, there are guys inside of the game who helped me, and I'm very happy about that. Thank you, guys.
So yeah, you gave us a little bit of the history of that. So you said you blew everybody in the galaxy. Why is that?
Because of trust. So we are only PvE guys, and we want to take all New Eden news. So how it will possible? We have to be friends with all guys in New Eden. So that was the point. And I want to thank all people who support us. Can I tell about these people?
Yeah.
So thanks to Genesis, Pantheon, Silent, Querios, Catch22, ACR, No Alliance, Fireflies, Void, OG, and many others. Also, Trimark, Terran Federation, Elysium, Red Sky, Opforce, Golden Horde, and many, many others. People's alliances disappear, but people remain, and we remember everyone. So that's why we are Blues, because we respect trust.
That's great. That's awesome to hear. You guys are a PvE corp. Is that pretty much all you do in the game?
Yes, we have not red, don't shoot, and we have no reds. We only making PvE.
Nice. Have you tried that new arena that's been a hot topic recently?
Yes, of course. I was on first closed test arena, and it was awesome. Really cool content in the game.
Yeah, that's where your PvEers can try their hand at PvP and get some experience and not have to worry about losing ships.
Right, and when my guys, someone of my guys want to PvE, I say to him, okay, you can join of any our blue alliances. Please go ahead if you want PvP. But you can do it in Sky News.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So you have a successful YouTube channel, and I mean, you do the news, right? So do you do all New Eden news, or do you just do only like certain topics?
Mm-hmm. We're trying to cover as much news as possible, but on the largest and brightest news will go to YouTube, because we adhere to a certain format. Long issues are very, very difficult to produce, and the rest of the news will go to our Telegram blog. It is text blog.
Is that text blog? Is that available for English players as well?
Unfortunately not, because it's very hard to find a person who can translate such a volume of text, only Russian language.
I wonder if like a web browser will automatically translate that. I'd have to, if you can, send me the link and I'll check it out and I'll see if I can read it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the web translator is a good way. I will send you a link.
Okay. And you have really good production quality in your videos, and I think that's one thing that makes your show stand out. What other things does your show have that stand out?
From the first video, many people liked the news idea. I think that our success has three main components: idea, production, and host. But to be honest, I don't see us as a super successful channel, but we have our audience and some fame, it's true. So if you watch all the episodes in a row, you may notice how we learned everything and made our episodes better and better. The main secret: just do what you do and don't stop, don't give up. Always fight with yourself, and if you decide to make a certain format, you must always correspond to it. But you also don't have to be afraid to try new things, and always listen to the audience. You should learn from your mistakes and never be afraid to make mistakes. It is the best way to become better. So I also noticed that we inspired many people to make their own news, and this is incredibly pleasant to me. Just make mistakes and learn. Every time you have to learn every day. So this is a secret of our success.
Yeah, that's good. With you bluing a lot of people around New Eden, I'm sure you have a pretty wide range of sources to get your news from. Do you get your news from pretty much everybody in New Eden, or do you have primarily Russian sources to get your news info from?
At the very beginning, it was almost Russian sources, but now it's most of sources are English. Reddit, for example, there is a lot of information there, but the main source is people. I tried to get in touch with everyone I could and trying to take only the official news from first hand. It makes us different, but it limits us as well. We don't publish rumors, gossip, and spy information. So this is a point.
Have you been keeping up with all the news that's been dropping recently with Honk and Pantheon and SHH? No.
Yes, I know a lot of recent news, but as you can see, about a month there is no new news episodes because the summer and I was busy. But now I'm going to solve this.
Yeah, tons of stuff has dropped within the last week or so, and I know Damon Zell, he was having some difficulties writing his show just because so much info has been coming out, and yeah, it's just insane. He's gonna have a packed show this week on his YouTube channel. Yeah, just tons of stuff going on.
Yes, we are friends with Damon. He doing a really great job, and maybe he better than me because he doing it every week. I want to do the same every week, but unfortunately I have no time sometimes.
Right. I understand that. I'm right there with you. So in these videos, we see you as the person in the video, right? And then sometimes there's a girl, and from what I heard, that's your girlfriend?
That's right. She's my girlfriend, and also she, from the first day of Sky News, she was our editor, text editor, and she shot me in video. I don't know how to say it in English. So she behind the camera every time.
Nice. Yeah. So she does she do all the editing for the videos?
No, only text editing.
Okay.
Video editing on my site. I'm doing this.
Nice.
And one day I tell her, maybe you come to camera and trying to help me as a host, and she said, okay, let's try. And so we're doing this.
And did your audience like that?
Audience especially Russian audience very like girls. So this was good idea.
Yeah. So the future of Sky News, what do you think the future of Sky News is? Are you going to be adding any new segments or anything to it in the future?
Oh, I thought to try to make news about EVE Online, but firstly, it is very difficult game, more difficult than EVE Echoes. And secondly, I don't have enough time even for EVE Echoes. I really lose a lot of content, and every time I feel upset about it. Therefore, my plan for the future is to manage to collect and shoot more news about EVE Echoes. And for this, I really need support of the audience, information and donation support. That's our plan for the future.
That's great. Hey, and send me all the links to all of your media, and I'll share them wherever or everywhere that I share my stuff. And we'll get some more English audience to you. And yeah, that's just great. Great to hear that your show is doing well. And I like to watch it. You know, I like to keep up with all the news around New Eden, even if it's you know, from your standpoint or Damon Zell's standpoint. But even I find it kind of difficult to collect news at times just because I'm shorthanded on time as well.
Thank you. I will. And please send me your links if you have not only your podcasts. I will maintain in my next news episode, because a lot of Russian people know English and they have to know about you.
Yeah, and I cover a lot of topics that are typically the hot topics of the week, and then sometimes I just have interesting people to talk to and learn more about certain corporations or organizations. But yeah, I got some interesting people on my show, and I've had in the past, so they may find stuff interesting, like Tahini. I had Tahini on in the past, and if nobody knows Tahini from No Please Stop, I have a great show on that.
I was thinking to invite Tahini, but you did it, and this is cool. I want to listen it as soon as possible.
Yeah. So I'll send you all the links.
Sure, you have a great content, really interesting content.
Alrighty, sir. Well, we've pretty much covered all the topics that I wanted to talk about. Do you have any closing thoughts or shout-outs?
Yes, I can tell about how I play this game. I played a lot, especially until I became a CEO of the corporation and alliance. Yes, we made an alliance a couple of months ago, but now I more often play Discord or doing news offline. So I have 4 main clones to be able to play missiles, drones, guns, lasers, trading, production, mining, and so on. It may sound strange, but most of all, I prefer solo playing. It's like a meditation for me after endless communication with different people. My favorite ships are frigates. I really like speed, but I also like other kind of ships. I'm flying on Succubus, Scepters, Drake, Prophecy, Tempest, and Dominic's 2. I have Dominic's 2 about 3 days.
Yeah.
This is really cool ship. So I'm making PvE, solo PvE, and sometimes I joining to my news fleets with my guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially if you like flying frigates, the arena is especially fun for you then.
Yes, right. Arena is really good idea from developers. And I can share my secret. I have one no news clone. It's PvP clone. It's frigate clone, and sometimes I'm killing people.
So you have an alt that you can actually PvE or PvP in, and not have to worry about bluing anybody.
Yes, right. This is a freaking pirate clone.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I want to say a few words for the listeners. it depends on our YouTube feedback. So don't be upset about game difficulty. Our game is actively developing and we have an anniversary and a lot of interesting innovations. And a lot of interesting things ahead. So the game are not going to die, as some guys write in our comments. I know that, just trust me. Play, enjoy, support content creators. These guys are great, are doing a great job to make your game more enjoyable, and fly safe.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Let's Play, and thanks for talking with me today, and I hope to see you around.
Thank you, Rambo, and fly safe.
Well, that wraps it up for this week. And I did visit the Telegram blog, and I was able to get it translated through the browser. So I was able to read all of the Sky News stories in English, which was very nice. I will include all of the Sky News links provided to me in the description. And also, listeners, please rate the show wherever you listen to it. I appreciate any and all feedback. And if you wish to do so, please come and join my Discord. That is where I do my roundtable talks. I post my episodes. I have future guest lists shown, and you can also post your corp ad. I'll leave that link in the description as well. And if you want even more Eve Echoes news and a deep dive into what's going on in the galaxy, go check out Damon Zell on YouTube on his show, Echoes from the Front, where he goes over game announcements, patch notes, alliance drama, huge battles, and much more. So that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. Take care, fly dangerously, and I will see you next week.